Good morning, YouTube. This man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bottom Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we have a few shows coming up this weekend, and one is I think it's been around for a good while now. This is gonna be third year. It is the Linda Murray Atlanta Pro. And as you know, I'm a big fan of Linda Murray. She's really doing good work for being a promoter for women's bodybuilding. I remember my first bodybuilding show was Savannah in 2022. I was planning to go on the show, but as you know, I have issues, especially with my car. But I'm hoping I might try to go next year. So if things go well, keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to attend this show. So anyway, we have the list. The list came out a couple of days ago, and I know I usually do a video maybe a day after, but yesterday I was running around busy. It's still the first of the month. I got to take care of some stuff and in the world. So anyway, this is a good list. Some familiar faces, and also we have some ladies making their pro debut at this show. So like I said, I want to get a shout out to these people. So anyway, first off, we have here is Michaela Aycock. As you remember, Michaela won this show in 2022, and she placed second in 2023. As you know, Michaela, the next month, she did the Tampa Bay Pro, which she got her Olympic qualification at. So she's coming back to see if she can get her title. She was the original champ. And also, she is competing in the Rising Phoenix. And I'm a fan of Michaela. She has a nice physique. It's pretty well done. We're just going to see how she's going to do. It's still a good certain ladies that might give her a real fight. Next up, we have a lady who has not competed in bodybuilding almost over 10 years. And this one, Mrs. Tina Chandler. As you know, Miss Chandler took a step back after 2013. She's a multiple-time, Olympic competitor, also Miss National competitor. I think, she's an amazing lady. She's been doing other stuff as a coach and also working with people with disabilities. I just saw she did an interview with Glenn over at the Amazon Fitness magazine, and maybe if you check, maybe get one with her. It'd be great because I love talking to these ladies who were in the sport, who are, I would say, legends. Here we have is one Miss Victoria Dominguez. Now, Victoria last competed in 2022. She did a couple of shows. She did Tampa, she did Savannah Pro, and also she was invited to the Rising Phoenix. We haven't seen her since 2022, so, let's see how she does. She was originally physique, but later on she switched to women's bodybuilding. Next up we have is Salika Given. This is going to be a second year as a pro. As you remember, Salika turned pro back in 2022 and made her debut in 2023. She won a pro card in Women's Bodybuilding Nationals. She did at least a few shows that year. She did both Atlanta, she did Chicago, and she did Tampa. She was really busy last year. She was impressive. There were really a lot of talk. And also, for this year, she's invited to the Rising Phoenix. Like Victoria and also, Tina, she's doing the Masters class. She's done that quite in the last few shows she's competed. She even won the Masters at Atlanta last year. Next up, we have one Mrs. Patty Hansen. Now, Patty turned pro in 2020 at the Miss International at the Chicago Pro. And she also was invited because, whoever wins the Miss International gets the invite to the Rising Phoenix. And, she made a pro debut in Chicago the next year. But, there was a controversy where some people she was dehydrated. I know people there who told me about it. I mean, I even saw a video at one point when somebody bring out some water to her when she was on stage. And she would just let her go, get off stage and let her just, take the loss. Your health is more valuable than nearly try to die. But like I said, she's an impressive lady. I've been in contact with her, and maybe I can get also on for an interview in the future. Also, a lady who I had the pleasure of meeting in 2022 when I went to my first show in Savannah, and also interviewing, that is one Miss Sheena Olick. Now, she took second in women's bodybuilding at the Toronto Super Show to Ava Manello. She is a present physique, great definition, great line. She won her first Olympic qualification in 2021 at Chicago Pro, was in Atlanta during the pandemic. But like I said, she took a step back after 2022. She did Tampa, she did Chicago, and she did the Rising Phoenix. She took second in Tampa, but she's top 5 competitor at both Chicago and Savannah. But like I said, I'm a fan of Sheena. I hope she does well. Next up, we have is one Miss Tawana Smith. Now, Miss Smith competed in 2022. She made her debut in women's bodybuilding at New York Pro. Then she got invited to the Rising Phoenix. She was physique for a good while, but she made the switch after 2022, took 2023 off, and let's see how she can look this year. Next up we have is Dr. Keena Squarey, and she's from Canada. Big fan from me, bodybuilders from Canada. As you know, last year she competed in women's bodybuilding, and after she was a physique competitor, and she did the Toronto Super Show, and she I think was top 5 competitors, only 8 ladies. Like it was 8 ladies at this show, but she was still top 5 competitors. She's a very impressive lady. I think she has good definition. So let's see how she does at Tampa. And she also, like the other ladies who are doing masters. And one person who's missing from his lineup is last year's champion, Maya Ash. And you know, Mayla's got invited to the Rising Phoenix. She won this show in 2023. And also, she did both the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia. She was top 5 competitor at the Rising and top 10 competitor at the Olympia. She did the Romanian Muscle Fest, where you know after she came back from the Romania, she got into an accident. She recovered pretty good. And the big question is, why is she defending her title? There's like only a few shows left for Olympic qualifications, especially for women's bodybuilding. You have Chicago, Tampa. There's the Alina Popa show in Romania, and also there's the Europa Championships in the UK. So, or if she has done before, she was top 3 competitor at the Rising Phoenix. So you know, top 3 competitors get a bye to Olympia. She has to be, if she makes third, that's good. She gets an automatic bye to Olympia. But if not, then you know, instead again the Rising Phoenix, you have Andrea Shaw, Angela Yo, and Alcida Barrito, and those are the top 3 ladies for the Olympia. So it's gonna be tough. You're gonna get in that top 3. But like I said, I'm a fan of her. I hope she does well. There's a lady who also in 2022, hey, I got to meet her too, and I did an interview with her. And that is one Mrs. Rashada Boswell. As you know, Rashada has been to Olympia quite a few times, both in women's physique and women's bodybuilding. The last 2 times she's been by points, and this couple of times she won. As you know, she won her first Olympic qualification at Puerto Rico in 2022, and that's when I met her. She was down here doing. It was the week after her Puerto Rico win. She was down here in North Carolina. She was doing a seminar in Fayetteville. That was run by my man Glenn of the Amazon Fitness magazine. I was there, got to talk with her, and did an interview on the side of it. It was great to meet her. But like I said, also remember in 2023, she did the Masters Olympia, where she won that title, and that got her by to the Olympia. So like I said, I think she might try to do Chicago because it's a lot closer to her because she lives in Illinois. So, you know, it'd be easy for her to do that show instead of going out of your way. And this is the list for women's physique. And the list is crazy stacked. I mean, this is the biggest list since the Toronto Super Show last month. A lot of ladies out here. Some ladies making their pro debuts. Some women who are multiple time Olympic competitors. I mean, I think even the last year's Atlanta Pro wasn't that stacked. And I think some women really want to get a jump on it because after first this year, there was like shows like St. Louis only had 5 competitors. The New York only had, the Pittsburgh Brewer 3. And did not as many at the Triple O or the Vancouver Pro. Maybe because a lot of ladies want to get ready. So usually you try to stack up on the later shows for the summer. But like I said, it's a stacked amount of women. And, you know, and I'm telling you, this is a deep lineup. And, you know, also is his masters at this show. And, you know, this is a good amount of women here, too. I mean, this is, you know, it's crazy. I remember like the Toronto Super Show. Almost most of the women, except for maybe 3, did the masters part, you know, I believe. Here's what we have here is one Miss Katrina Aldrich. If I want to ever got my name wrong, I apologize. She last competed at the Tampa Bay Pro in 2021. That's been a while. She also, I think she did masters at that show too, because I remember she was top 3. I remember it was her, Tracy S. Rugged, and I forgot who won. I think it's been a while. It's been a while, so I hope she does well. Next up we have is one Miss Catherine Castles. She's from Australia, and she's coming all the way here to do her first pro show. And you know, there's not many pro shows in Australia or even pro qualifiers. There's so few. Remember, I interviewed Tracy Guile and also Lisa Sagan. They told me that it's hard to get turned pro in Australia, so that's why it's easy to come here to do shows in the United States. Also, she got a pro card. She competed the same year when Kristen Lay got her pro card. They did the same show. And I hope she does well. I mean, you know, she come all the way here from Australia to do her first show. And, you know, that's a long way. It could have been easy just to do either the Portugal or maybe, you know, something like the show in Romania, which is a lot, you know, Romania is a lot closer. But like I said, this is going to be her pro debut. That's the lady who had the pleasure of interviewing, Mrs. Jessica Coleman. You know, Jessica turned pro at the Junior USA's, and that was about, I think it was 23 she turned pro. It was 2022. I'm trying to remember. I interviewed her before, and she had to take a step back because she had to go on some surgery because she had issues with her hands, and she had surgery for that. She's a mom. I think one of her kids just went to college, and now she's finally making her pro debut. So I wish her best of luck. Next up, we have here one Miss Conchetta de Leon Washington. I interviewed her last month. She competed at nationals, and she got her pro card at the junior nationals. And congratulations! And now she's making her debut just a month after getting a pro card. Remember my interview? It was a great interview because her family was there. Her husband, her daughter, her mom, her brother, a couple of cousins, some friends, and also her aunt. And that's the same interview where Paul Z got in some trouble. For a good while, if you watch my live streams, my man Ball Z was a fan. And, for a good while, I wasn't seeing Ball Z too much. I think he was trying to lay low for a bit. But I just want to say congratulations to Conchetta. And I hope she does well. Next up is a lady we have here who's been a two-time Olympic competitor in women's physique. That is one Marie Chamange. As you know, Maria is from Cameroon. That's in Africa. She's also a nurse. Now, she earned her first qualification in 2022 at the Ultimate Classic, and then earned her last one at the Daytona Pro. Impressive physique, I think. Good genetics. I see that maybe, I don't know, women's physique, it works, but I see she might have a little more aspects for women's, women's figure. I see she has more figure aspects. She has the broad shoulders, the good condition. Just need to bring a little size. She does pretty good. She has been in Olympia twice. So this is going to be a close call, especially who else is on this list. Next up we have is Linka Fernikova. Now, Miss Fernikova just did the Portugal Pro, and last month did the Emporio in Spain. She was in top 5 in both those shows, and she's been an Olympic competitor. She's been qualified to Olympia back in 2018 and 2021. Last time she went to Olympia. Impressive lady. She's from the Czech Republic. Reach out to her, and maybe after the show, I might get a chance to interview her. I know, I'm an international player from the Himalayas. And I get the opportunity to talk to these ladies from other countries. But she was pretty good at both the Imperial and at Portugal. Next up, we have is one Mrs. Bridget Gilman. As you know, she was originally in figure. She made a switch to physique. She did the World Championships, which is the World Master Championships in the States. And she also did the Triple Dynasty about 2 or 3 months ago. I think she was top 3 at that show. I think it was only 5 compared for women's physique, but that made her top 3. Next up we have here was one Olga Gloria, and she turned pro at the North Americans about a couple of years ago. Made a pro debut at this show, the Portugal, and impressive. I think she was one of the top 5, maybe top 10 competitors at the show. I think it was like at least 15 women, so she was pretty impressive. Next up we have is one Kim Golobansky. I'm gonna call her Miss Kim, and she was originally figured for a good bit. She did the Daytona Pro, and she double dipped because in Masters you can double dip. You can do figure and physique, and I think she's making her full switch over to physique, and also I think she's doing the Masters part. Next up we have is Anna Harris. As you know, Anna turned pro at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic back in 2021, and then no more after that she got her Olympia qualification. Now, in 2022, she missed the opportunity because she competed in a couple of shows. And then I think she took a break last year. We hadn't seen her since 2023. So, she looking very impressive. Great physique. She's originally from Mexico, but she lives in Texas. But let's see how she does. She is an Olympic qualified competitor. We have here with one Mrs. Carrie Hughes, who did the the Tampa Bay Pro. The Omaha Pro, and I think she was maybe top 5, maybe second call outs. I know my man, David Female by before him talked to her. Next up, we have here one Lorna Lafleur. Now, Mr. Lafleur turned pro last year. I think it was just Olympia qualifier at Olympia Amateur. I believe was in Italy, and then she made a pro debut at Tampa. So let's see how she does. Next one we have is Amanda Machado. And Amanda, she's from Brazil. She's been competing in physique for a good while. She last competed, I believe, in 2022, and she has been taking some time off. I follow her on social media. She hangs out with Lavinia Abados. Great look, very attractive. She's really appealing in size and really conditioning. Right here we have here a lady who I had pleasure to interview is one Miss Oksana Pari. I interviewed both her and her husband Autumn. She's regional from Russia. She's been competing for a good while. She competed at she did Omaha. I believe she did also the Masters championships here in the States. She was invited to the Masters Olympia, but there were some issues. I think her lawyers were trying to get her a visa. As you know, there's a lot of some countries are not giving visas to too many Russian athletes. There's like a Russian ban because the whole thing with Ukraine and Russia. But it's a nice lady. She's a mom. She's a committed wife. Her husband Autumn, he survived having the Omicron variant of C19. But I hope she does well. She has an amazing physique. Next up, we have here one Miss Mardina Polfes. Got a name wrong. I apologize. And she's been a pro since I think 2022. She's competed at the Omaha twice, both in 2023 and in this year. So let's see how she does. Next up, we have one Miss Najid Raymond. I don't know much about her. I think this is going to be her pro debut. So she hasn't been a pro too long. So, by the looks like she did the North Americans. Next up, a lady who I also had a pleasure to interview, one Mrs. Renee Reef. I'm not going to say her full name. Renee competed this show last year. She was busy. I think she did at least 3 or 4 shows. I know she did this show. I believe she did I think she did Chicago, and also I believe she did I figured she did North America. No, the Sports Legion Special show. If I remember. But I remember she was doing a giveaway. I got one of her hats from the Power gym. I appreciate that. And I think she might do well. Also, I don't know. I remember I asked her if she would do Masters. She says no, she's not ready for Masters. But, that's the debate. I think that's something she's really considered doing. Especially, it's getting tougher for women who are getting to a certain age to do well in the open class, especially with younger competitors. Here we have is Joanna Ramona. She's been competing for quite some while. She last competed at a couple of shows last year. She did the Europa Championships when it was in Spain, because she's originally from Spain, and also she did the Masters Olympia. She got invited. She hadn't competed for almost maybe 3 or 4 years before then, and she got invited to the Masters Olympia. So you'll see how she does. Next up we have is Justyna Radnicka. She's from Poland, and she did a couple of shows. She shows like I think she did the Europa Championships. She did the Imperial the year before, and also she did Chicago Pro, where I believe that's where she last competed. Next up we have here is one Miss Megan Russell. Now Miss Russell, just like Conchetta, got her pro card at the Junior Nationals just a month ago, and she won the overall. So this is going to be her pro debut. I mean, most competitors wait a year or two, but I think some competitors really they've been competing for such a good while, they really want to hit the ground running. So let's see how she does. And also, I believe she's also doing Masters. Next up we have is one Miss Allison Bentias. She turned pro at Junior USA's last year. Then she competed at the Atlanta Pro that same year after she got a pro card. So let's see how she does this show. Next up we have one Miss Becky Short. Now, I just saw her did an interview with my man Glenn over the Female Body channel, the Amazon Fitness channel, and she's been competing for a good while. She last competed in Pittsburgh. She took some time off for medical reasons. She's a mom, and also she served our country in the military. So I want to say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice she had made for our country. So let's see how she does. Like she's been competing for a good bit. Next up, we have Romana Scotson. And Romana, she earned her pro card in Europa last year. She made a pro debut at Toronto, but did not get her pro card there. She's from Great Britain. She's been to Olympic before, and like I said, this is another Olympic qualified athlete. As you know, this is going to be shown in the UK. I'm thinking maybe she was sitting waiting maybe to do a show in the UK. It's right there and close to her. But my guess, she really wants the opportunity to get her pro card. I mean, it's Olympia qualification. Also, we have here another lady who has been an Olympic qualified athlete in women's physique, but she switched to figure. That is Dr. Autumn Swanson. Now, she made a return to physique at the Omaha Pro. She did Toronto last month, and she's impressive lady. I know my man David also got an interview with her a while back. That was the right after she made her return to women's physique. But like I said, it's impressive. I mean, I think she looks pretty good. The question is how well she would do. And this is a stacked lineup, I said again. And last but not least, we have here one Miss Winsome White. As you know, Winsome got her Olympic qualification in 2022. I was there when she got it. It was Savannah. And Winsome, she competed for a good bit. She competed last year, but didn't get an opportunity to get a qualification. And now she competed. She last competed at the Omaha Pro, and now she's trying to see if she can get her pro card in Atlanta. I mean, sorry, not pro card, her Olympic qualification in Atlanta. Like I said, this is a stacked list. You have some ladies, like I said again, are Olympic qualified. So it's just going to see how she does. I mean, she was in third place at Omaha, but Atlanta's really stacked compared to Omaha. So Omaha had 15 competitors, just as many as as it was. It was just 15 competitors as it was in Portugal. So we could say she might place top 5 or top 3, all depending. Especially some of the ladies are here, and some of them are making their debuts. Now, what's missing is the last year's champion, Amy McCowan. And, Miss McCowan is from my home state of North Carolina. She won the show last year. So the big question is, is she taking the time off to grow after the Olympia, or she's, I think that could be it. Like I said, judges will tell you, they tell a lot of these physique girls need to grow. But what's the sense? You're supposed to be growing is for women's bodybuilding. Physique is supposed to be about conditioning. It's just an issue. And next one person I would love to see do this show is one Miss Barbara Marjan. Barbara took second at the Portugal Pro to Carolina Alvarez. And I'm a fan of Barbara. I mean, I've interviewed her before, lovely French lady. I think she looked pretty good. I think she deserved that Olympic qualification. But like I said, I'm me talking as a fan, not as much as a judge. I think if she done this show, I think she probably won it. Especially even though he has some good, good competitors here. Her being a 4-time, 3-time top 4 competitor at the Olympic women's physique, I think she has a good shot. She could win the show. But my guess she's maybe thinking about this. There's only maybe one more show for Olympic qualification outside the States, and that is the Europe Open Championship. Or she might try to do another show like Tampa or maybe Chicago, or I think also no, I don't think there's a show in Mississippi, and there's also the Texas Pro, but I think the Arizona Pro is gonna be too late for Olympic qualification. But like I said, big fan of Barbara Michelle. Hope she does well. And also I shot one lady who has found out she's making her pro debut at this show in Atlanta. That is one Miss Tamika Tucker. I just interviewed Tamika. She got her her pro card at the Nationals, which was about 4 or 5 months ago. Can you believe that? It was December. So I might say about nearly 10 months ago. God, time flies. So, she's a impressive young lady. She's very passionate about the sport. She's also into business. She's representative. Her and her sister earned their pro cards. Her sister, I think, won overall in her class, and she got a pro card. And also, it's double dipping. She was doing both wellness and figure. But like I said, let's see how she does. I mean, like I said, I saw the list for figure. It's pretty stacked. There's some notable names on that list. But like I said, stacked list. The reason why I didn't do a video on the figure thing, because I know all the competitors, and then it would took too long to do a video, especially how stacked the physique division is. So let's see how she does. I hope she does well. Anyway, the show, they're already doing signings, check-ins, and that's check-ins are the 12th. So you got to check in, register yourself, get your badges and all that stuff together. And also, the main show for women's bodybuilding figure physique is going to be the 13th. The other part is going to be, I think, wellness, I think fitness, and I believe men's classic, which one of them, So I'm just going to watch the first show that's going to come the 13th. And that's that. I don't care about anything else. But like I said, it's also, as you know, it's a master's class. So I think it's talk that they might take master's winners, and they will apply for the Masters Olympia, which is coming back in 2025. But like I said, a lot of ladies who make their pro debuts, quite a few Olympic qualified competitors. I mean, it's a stack. This is a good show. Lenda's really doing pretty good. I mean, maybe next year we get to see more women get the shot because I remember I did an interview with Jennifer Childers. She was going to be at her debut with this show in 2022, but she got sick. She had to take a step back. But like I said, I think it's a good lineup, and I hope some of the ladies, especially someone like Rashina, get a qualification for Olympia. I hope she does. And I also want to shout out to Jessica, Conchetta, Oksana, Renee, and also other ladies who I got the pleasure to interview on my channel who are competing in this show. Shout out to them. So anyway, this man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.